What's happening, everybody? Ask Jesse answer time. Awesome questions as always this week. Let's get right to the answers. First one comes to us from Kelly Smith, and Kelly asks, how do you deal with the people who claim you're showing off or think you're better than them when you are only trying to make the changes you need in order to better your life? I'm not trying to leave anyone behind. Great question, Kelly. There is an ancient expression that has been passed down by generations. It is in folklore and legend and storytelling of all cultures, and ancient Egyptians and ancient cavemen, and even maybe the dinosaurs had something. And it goes something like this. Birds of a feather flock together. Like attracts like. When people, and what I mean by that is this, when people like to surround themselves with people who are like them, especially when people are doing things or practicing behaviors that they know they probably shouldn't do. They are going to want people around them that are doing similar things because it lets them off the hook. Us human beings were really funny. You see, we like to have a group mentality. We like to have other people do it. There is this amazing TED Talk, and I encourage everybody to watch it. And what happens in this talk is they videotape this festival. There's this festival video. And this one kid's over there and he's dancing like this, and nobody's dancing with him. Nobody. And you see people kind of looking at him like, what's this guy doing? That's weird. Ooh, we don't want to be part of it. Well, then all of a sudden somebody else comes over there and they kind of start doing the same dancing like this, and please forgive my dancing. And I'm probably not even doing the guy justice. Well, as soon as the second one comes in, suddenly there's a third, there's a fourth, there's a fifth, and over the course of the next 20, 30 minutes, that one person now who took forever to get to, eventually there's hundreds and thousands of people all dancing and swarming around and doing the same kind of movement. And so much so that the first one's lost in it. Like's going to attract like, and what happens when you're in a situation where one of the group starts to change, other ones are going to be kind of like, whoa, wait, hang on, red alert, we don't like this. Because you are bringing out, by you changing, by you making the decision, by you cleaning up the behaviors, by you changing what you want to change, you are exposing what they don't want to see. You are exposing, you're bringing to the surface what they don't want to see. It's like all of a sudden you guys are in this nice, safe group, and then bam! You put it right there in their face, and they are forced to look at it. Forced to see what they want to see. Forced to acknowledge what they don't want to acknowledge, because you are changing what they don't want to change. And so that's why it's going to be so hard, and people are going to make comments and say stuff like, oh, you're different, you've changed. Oh, you just think you're better than us. Oh, you're too good for us now. Because they do not want to acknowledge what they need to acknowledge in themselves. So the best thing you can do as a friend, if you really love and care about these people, and if you really love and care about yourself, you're going to continue on the path you need to be on and continue to change in the way you know you want to, and you are not going to allow, you're going to do your best to not allow their words to affect you. And you're going to allow your actions to speak, and by doing the changes you're going to be happier, more fulfilled, more excited, more energetic, whatever it is. And if they're ready to come along with you, you're going to keep the door open for them. And if they're not, you're going to respect their path and their journey and understand that it's their journey. And if they don't, and I want to be honest here, if they don't, and as you continue to grow and change, you're going to get to a place where you may look back and realize that there's just not space in your life right now for friends like that. It doesn't mean that you care about them any less, and it doesn't mean you're not always going to value what they brought to your life. What it does mean, though, is that just where you're going, they're not ready to come along. You want to go travel and see the world, they want to stay at home and see just what's on their four walls around them. And that's okay. That's their choice. Great question. Other question. So we had two questions about stress, and one is from Jane York, the other one is from Alejandro Suarez, and I'm going to answer them as a whole because they're very similar. So Jane's is, how do or can you stop yourself from being stressed all the time, being stressed from worrying, stressing about all things that I need to do? I take one stress problem off my list and then another one gets added. It's just so exhausting. And Alejandro says, when you are surrounded by stress, is there a process or ritual by which you use to calm yourself? Fantastic questions. And let me say this first about stress. Stress is voluntary. and I mean to say, is that we invite stress, we create stress. Stress is not just this mystical or magical thing that suddenly appears and goes, poof, here I am. It's stuff that we create. Stress is created when there's an incongruency within ourselves, when we're doing something that we probably shouldn't do, when we are focusing on the things that worry us, cause us anxiety, all those types of things. As we focus on those, guess what we're going to do? We're going to create stress because we're going to think, shoot, I got to get this done, or darn, I got to get this done. And we have it, and it keeps piling up. So first thing to do, when you don't want to focus on stress, when you don't want stress as much in your life, you need to focus on the things that don't cause you stress. Because here's the thing, when we are stressed, we'll usually say an expression like, I am so stressed out. Everything is stressing me out. Well, is it really everything? No. And when we get right down to it, it's really probably only a few things. It's probably only a few things that when we look at those few things, we can make them into smaller categories if we wanted to. Which leaves us then with 1, 2, maybe 3 or 4 key things that are causing us stress. Which on the other hand means there are literally hundreds and thousands of things in our life that if we chose to focus on, we could focus on them and not experience stress. Does that mean when we go back to those other things, we're not going to feel stress? It may or may not. What it does mean though is it gives us a reprieve and allows us to experience life without feeling stressed all the time. Right? If you're like this all the time and you're just like, oh my God, I'm so stressed, and then you allow yourself to relax and calm down and just breathe. Are you going to approach the problems, the things that were causing you stress before? Are you going to approach them in a little different way? Yes or no? Yes, you are, because you're going to have released the tension. Think about it as like working out. Have you ever noticed that when you go in and work out, and you can go in and you can be all amped up and just really tense or whatever it is, and you go in and if you work out really hard, you come out there and you're just kind of like, because you've just released all this tension. So you need to find, first of all, you need to shift your focus around. Don't focus on the couple of things that are causing you stress. Focus on all the other things that are not causing you stress. And then once you do that and you spend some time decompressing, readdress your stress stuff. Number 2, find a ritual. Find a behavior that's going to allow you to release stress. Hint, hint, hint. Exercise is excellent for this. If you find yourself stressed, you can't focus, whatever it is, go out, run, walk, do some push-ups, do some sit-ups, go to the gym and lift the weights and do it intensely. When I say exercise, this doesn't mean you're sitting there going, 1, yeah, 2, yeah, we can do that later, 3, 4. If you're talking on the friggin' phone while you're working out, that is not going to release stress. In fact, it's the exact opposite. It's distracting you from focusing in on yourself, which means you're not getting the stress out. You're probably on the phone getting worked up about the thing you should be not getting worked up about. It doesn't make a lot of sense. I see it at the gym all the time, and you guys are missing all benefit of this. Okay, so you got to create some rituals for yourself, some rituals that are going to help you alleviate stress. Again, exercise is huge. And then the end of the day, beginning of the day are so important. Same thing, rituals going into it. How can you focus on the things you want to think about that are going to relax you? Listen to some music. Don't watch anything that stresses you out before you go to bed. And same thing in the morning. Wake up and think about it. Starts the day off. Take a breath. Think about gratitude. You guys, gratitude is always going to be a good place to go. If you get yourself away from thinking about what stresses you and focus on the things that you're grateful for, it's going to make all the difference in the world. Okay, that's it for this week. I ran this one a little bit long. Thanks for everybody for sticking with me. I hope you found value in this. Please share it with your friends and family.